The fastest way to incorporate Lego into your Dungeons & Dragons games is using scatter. Scatter is easy to build and it's something that you can throw on any map. You don't need tiles, you don't need intricate printed maps, you can use them on anything to make it look cooler. And they are easy to build and the pieces are available in a lot of sets or might be even in your collection, so you don't need anything new. Let's get started, because in this video I'll share ideas with you on what scatter to build first. The first thing I built out of Lego when I started using it for Dungeons & Dragons was trees. I got 3 of them. I had a lot of these brown and black arches from my childhood, so they were an easy start for me. I built 2 big ones and a small one, and you can't really build a whole forest with them, but again, a whole forest wouldn't make much sense on a map because you can't reach your minifigures anymore. So I think it's way enough to give your players the feeling of being in a forest or making your maps look more interesting. The inspiration for this big tree is actually from an official Lego set, the Medieval Castle 3-in-1, where there's an alternative build that has a tree incorporated, and I got inspiration for this tree from that set. I included some little details like these birds, also from the same Medieval Castle alternative build, or some spiders, mushrooms, little brushes down here, and the small tree is inspired from a Harry Potter set, but I recolored them and made them my own, and I've been using them in nearly every session since I built them. So a very good start if you want to make your maps more interesting using Lego. Since then, I also built a new color scheme of these trees, and I'm only experimenting with this, so this is not a final design of mine. I'm trying to build more foresty, darker green plates, and I'm experimenting with this color scheme, and these trees fit right in. I didn't buy any new pieces except for these recolored leaf pieces. Staying outside, the second thing I built, and a great start for you as well, is just using small scatter, like these micro trees and bushes. A lot of inspiration for these came from the Heroica sets. I got a bunch of Heroica sets in used condition through classifieds when I started out with Lego for Dungeons & Dragons, because they also have these jumper pieces and a lot of other stuff you can just use for your games. And because they are micro scale, they have a lot of these smaller tree builds that are perfect for bushes and that sort. And because I had a lot of leftover blue clear pieces, I got inspired and built these crystal mushrooms for something like an Underdark setting or any dungeon. A little more plain, but I have a couple of these, are these elevation pieces. And I'll do a whole video on elevation because I think it's a great mechanic for your maps, but they don't need to fit any grid. It's just great to have some variance in your maps. You can also do some swamps or difficult terrain. I have a campfire here to have enemies sit around, or maybe have something for the players to investigate. Also some dirt for the same reason. I recently made some tombstones because I built a graveyard for my corpse flower. I think they are very fun builds. I used these window and door pieces from Heroica a lot. Very easy to build. Now getting to more man-made structures. I have 2 of these pillars, and like the trees, I'm using them in nearly every map. I think they make every map look cooler, and I included these clips on here so you can clip on shields, banners, weapons, torches to make them individual for each of your maps. Very easy to adapt, very easy to use on every setup. I have bigger structures as well, like these bridges. These small bridges can be thrown on any map as well. These bigger ones are made to click onto my modular terrain tiles, but you can just build some stairs to get to them to incorporate them into any map. They are a little wobbly in the middle, but they are not actually hanging on these chains and just clicked into place with a Technic pin to make them more sturdy. And I love that design. I haven't used them yet. I made some stuff for interior use as well, like this bed, which is out of a Lego set. I think it's the Medieval Blacksmith, and I adapted the color scheme to fit more into my vibe. And of course, very easy to build are just some chairs, bench, and a table. I'm also using them very often. They are very easy to build if you have these brown bricks flying around. I got so many of them through the Wild West theme from my childhood, so I didn't need to get anything new for this. Of course, Lego has made some scatter themselves that you can use just right out of the box, like barrels, chests, boxes, or even chips. I don't know how expensive they are to get because I already had them in my collection. So look at yours and maybe you'll find stuff that you can use right out of the box without modifying. For some of your maps, you might want to do something custom, like this altar I did for a dungeon, for example, for a boss fight. They are not very modular, so not the best place to start. But I hope this video inspired you to get started with using Lego for Dungeons & Dragons, and I think you'll have a lot of fun building these. Let me know in the comments what scatter you're building, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!